Hello there, my name is Brian Kuria. Over the last 10 years, I have worked in some of Kenya's busiest newsrooms, and over this period of time, I've come across journalists who have dedicated their lives to ensuring that they bring you details, rather every detail of what is happening. I've come across colleagues who have dedicated their lives to ensuring that they bring the world closer to the facts. Now, from reporting scandals that changed the course of history to reporting from the front lines of global conflict, these are the stories behind the stories. Inside the Newsroom seeks to tell you the personal journeys of these journalists in their own words. And today, I am more than pleased to begin this inaugural episode of Inside the Newsroom by talking to a man who is Kennedy Murithi, a man who has contributed a lot to the journalism we have in this country and been through a few of the scandals that we have seen in the newsroom. This season of Inside the Newsroom is brought to you by Bet-Kumi, a leading online casino betting site where you can multiply your stake by up to 3,000 times. So do that by visiting www.betkumi.com and watch your winnings happen right before your eyes. And remember to bet responsibly. Welcome to the show, and I'm glad that you could join this inaugural program of Inside the Newsroom. Kaka Kennedy Murithi, I'm glad you could come in. Karibu Ndugu, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ndugu.
This show, like you've seen and like I briefed earlier on, we started it so that we are able to celebrate the legacy of our journalism in this country and even beyond, maybe in the days to come. And the most interesting reason why I called you here is because of some of the stories you've done that really changed the discourse of our political reporting, like how Raila lost, a story you did while at, of course, at NTV at the time, the outbursts we've seen in the political arena before. But then people like to understand really, who is Kennedy Murithi?
Interesting question. Thank you very much. Actually, what you've started here is the way forward. Man, people are no longer watching conventional TV. People are spending their time watching search online. So you're on the right trajectory.
Oh, they are?
Yes, they are. You're on the right trajectory. Kenyans are watching. And you know, Buya with his deep voice, ako sawa. Anyway, back to your question. Yeah? Kennedy Murithi is a young man, ambitious, recently left the newsroom about 2 years ago. Now, currently, a political advisor to Governor Muthomi Njuki of Tharaka Nithi, and also a media consultant. Why do I say media consultant? I was born in media. By the time I was finishing my class 8, I only had two things to do, either to be a lawyer or to be a journalist. I never got the points to be a lawyer. Mimi masomo haiku imefika pale pale. So I went straight into journalism. By the time I was in first year, when I was Form 1, I had already decided what I want. So I was paying close attention to languages, to social sciences. I was we had a pretty biology teacher, so I focused more on her stature than what she was teaching.
You failed.
We got something there.
Yeah.
Chemistry, the only titration that I knew, I came to learn of it later, of how to mix water and whiskey. So yeah. I went into a business education class. By day 2, I had already said I can't do this. So I went into agriculture and I was given a piece of land. That was the first piece of land I owned.
In school life?
Yes, and for the whole period I used to plant cabbages. That was the project for that year. By the time I was in Form 3, I was already producing the school magazine as the editor-in-chief.
Oh.
By the time I was in Form 3 also, I was reading News on Parade. So every Monday I would get the newspaper, look for the interesting headlines, compile them. I was allowed into the library very early, and then disseminate the news on Parade. And I would read them there, and people knew, oh, this guy has already chosen the life that he wants. So that's where my journalism career started.
Way back in high school.
Way back in high school, I've been a loudmouth. I speak a lot. I don't know how to speak slowly. Sometimes people accuse me of such. But yeah, that's me. That's Murithi in a nutshell. But journalism is in my blood. Yes. Then I went to campus. Went to Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kakamega. Huko Muliro Gardens, Pale watu walikuwa wanafanya mambo. And during that time I was actually in Kakamega.
Is it why we say no publicity is bad publicity? I mean, very few people knew about Muliro Gardens, right?
Yes, but the activities then propelled Muliro Gardens into one of the biggest and well-known places. So I went there, did my journalism and mass communication. Finished well by first year. You know, public universities, you have time where you go on long holidays. So between May and August, you are away. So I have a very supportive father, and he said, okay, you young man, instead of just staying home, we will get you internship. So I started applying. By the time I was finishing my first semester, going for the long holiday, second semester in May, then going for my long holiday, I secured internship with the Kenyan News Agency.
That's first year?
That's first year. Secured my internship, worked in Kiambu for 2 weeks, got another opportunity, went to Meru. That's where KNA posted me. I stayed in Meru gathering news until my internship was done. Went back to school. Now I was more enlightened. Went back to school, second year, studied more, went to KBC for internship.
Second year?
Yes. After now we closed school. After going to KBC, the first day I entered the newsroom, I entered in a suit.
Internship?
Internship.
Uko na suit?
Suit, lakini haiko expensive kama hii. So, went there, the editor of Business News, who is now the deputy ambassador to India, Madam Jane Kariuki, saw me on the first day and said, I want this on the business desk. And on the same day, I was sent out on assignment.
The reporting day?
Yes.
Ama kukuwa na watu?
You know, you're an intern, you want to test the capabilities of these people.
Yes.
So I had a huge notebook, zile zinauzagwa 200 huko Marikiti. So niko nayo, imeandikwa, the year is 2009. So I'm there, nikatumwa, kunaitwa nini? Communication Authority. I go there is
at the time ilikuwa CCK?
CAK.
Wakati?
Yes.
CCK, no?
No, it was not CCK. Was it CCK? Yes, it was CCK, I think. So I go there was this revolving earth na maji na nini. I go, there was a dispute. I remember it was between Airtel. I think then it was Cancel. I don't remember very well.
Gani ilianza Celtel ama Cancel?
No, it started with Cancel.
Ikaenda Celtel.
Okay, I can't keep up. But,
one of them.
Yes, but there was a dispute.
But what later became Airtel.
Yes. So, mimi nikasikiza, writing notes. I don't know where to pick that this is the story.
Yeah.
So I go back to the newsroom. My editor says, good handwriting, nice notes, but what is the story?
In one sentence.
I don't know how to tell them that this is the story. I didn't know because I had never worked for TV. Kenyan News Agency was Kenyan News Agency.
Yeah.
You collect for the paper.
Yes.
So akaniambia, this is your story. But how to start from here,
yes,
and translate it into a story was what was shida. But I learned. I go back to school. Now it comes time for official attachment in third year. Official attachment, since KBC had already created a rapport, I go back. I meet the editor-in-chief then. His name was the deputy editor-in-chief. His name was Mr. Ngulam Mwaviro. Those who know matters journalism, wanakumbuka jina langu ni Ngulam Mwaviro, you know. So Ngulam Mwaviro says, how did this guy come here? We are denying other people an opportunity because he's come twice. We try and explain, because I had already created a good rapport.
Yeah.
And I got myself back. But they said, by picking him again, we are denying other deserving people an opportunity for internship.
Oh.
Luckily, somebody helped me and posted me to radio, so that I don't need to sing Ghulam Waviru every day.
Umefichwa pale.
Nimefichwa pale. I go get Mr. Bill Odidi. Then Metro FM ilikuwa the big thing. Get Mr. Bill Odidi. I learned a lot from him. I was with a colleague of mine called Leila Mohammed. I meet Bill Odidi.
The same Leila.
The same Leila I've worked with at NTV. The same Leila I was schooled with at Masinde Muliro University.
Now with BBC.
Now with BBC. The same Leila who got a first class honors. And
na ile kizungu yake.
Na ile kizungu yake.
Yes.
So, Bill Odidi, those who know him, and he's a very great man, now I will say, Bill Odidi is a great man. Bill Odidi loved the F word. Oh, but he taught us strictness. Alitufunza. So we would prepare news, make sure that they are ready for him, make sure that by the time he's getting to studio, kila kitu iko sawa. We'd prepare mawimbo nini vitu kama hizo at that time. But before I finished, I had already alerted my friends and they were trying to get me another internship. So I get the Standard. I go and become an intern at the Standard at the I&M building, 15th and 16th floor. I start writing for the paper. I've never forgotten some of the best bosses I've ever had. Biketi Kikechi, Ben Agina, Martin Mutua. All these people, I honed my skills under them, you know. And Ben Agina, who recently was just the director comms Siaya, then went away to do his things. Ilikuwa nafika jioni ananiambia, kijana, naangalia story yako kimbia pale Naivas. No, then it was Tuskys.
Yes.
Nilia maziwa. Sasa amenipea 1,000. Maziwa yake yakwenda nyumbani. Nikirudisha change ya 500 niambia, kijana, wewe ndio uko na shida kunishinda. Ndio kule chips na 500.
And that was true.
It was true. It is true. Nao ndio walinifunza mambo mingi sana hii town. So I get time and I need to go back to school. Internship. I told them, guys, if you let me go back to school and you have trained me and you've seen how I am doing very well, including my bylines in your papers, I will start taking bangi and drinking myself.
How sure were you kwamba ungeanza kuvuta bangi?
Iko mingi sana Kakamega. So I tell them, guys, you have an office in Kakamega. Why don't you refer me to the bureau chief there and ask them wanipatie nafasi. Nikuwe naingia kwa ofisi yao, sitaki mnilipe. They looked at me wakasema, yani kijana uko ready kufanya, because Standard then was giving me 5,000 per month as a stipend. Ile yenye internship nation ilikuwa juu kidogo, ilikuwa inapatia watu 7,000 internship. So they allow me. I go to Kakamega, meet a very great man.
Yes.
By the name of Alan Kisia. Kisia was the bureau chief there. Kaniangalia kaniambia, wewe kijana, I have no qualms kuja kwa ofisi, anza kuandika. At that time we worked with a lady called Roslyn Obala. Roslyn Obala was stationed at the Standard office in Kakamega. Sasa tukiwa tumekaa tu hivi na yeye, mimi naona one person I have admired for the longest time. Naona simu inalia. Raila Odinga.
It's calling you.
Not me, ha.
Obala.
Kasema, hey! Sasa wewe, kama unaongea na mzito, maisha iko vipi? Nitafika hapa.
Raila Odinga is calling Obala.
Is calling Obala.
At the time, Langata MP?
No, he was prime minister.
Prime minister at the time, right?
Yes, he was prime minister.
So wakati wale jamaa wamebishana kuhusu mambo ya kura nini?
Yes, he was now prime minister. You can imagine Raila Odinga calling Roslyn Obala. Kwani ofisi tulikuwa tunashikika? Alikuwa akiandika taarifa Kenya mzima inasikia. Obala. Standard. From Kakamega office. Na nikimwambia, Raila ananiambia ni mambo madogo sana.
Yeah, small things.
These are small things. Akimaliza anaingia kuandika copy. So I used to learn. I learn more from seeing. Mimi si mtu wa kusoma vitabu. I watch a lot of things. So I wanted to get to that status. She helped me. Kisia alinisaidia. So na hiyo semester ikakuwa mzuri because now since I was going to fourth year, there was a bit of flexibility. We used to finish our classes on Thursday at 10. So when people are going to eat each other, to kunywa pombe, to do all manner of things,
Yes.
I would get into the office. Na napatiwa assignment.
Jupia ni bureau na ni watu si wengi sana.
Watu ni wachache. So napatiwa assignment.
Na kazi ni nyingi.
Unaambiwa pigia MP Kizito. Pigia so and so. Hii watu tu wanashika simu.
Yeah.
Unajua ni waheshimiwa.
Yes.
Wanashika simu unasema unaambiwa pigia Manyala Kea, pigia nani. Because now I used to work for the Western area. It gave me an opportunity. Then Standard started a newspaper at counties. That newspaper nikakuwa kijana mwenye naiandikia sana.
Mwenye uzoefu.
I have framed that picture at my mother's house. I had the front page story. And that time it is when Mudavadi and Raila were breaking off. The split that was there. And that story sold in the Western region a lot.
The real earthquake now.
Yes. When Mudavadi now went in 2013 kusimama na Jeremiah Kioni, Raila now goes his own way because it was expected they will come together. So, but there were cracks that were emerging at that time. And speaking to many people, they were telling you that there's a problem, you know. So we used to write that. Then there was another pullout in the Sunday, in the Monday Standard called Crazy Monday.
Yeah, I remember it.
Crazy Monday had crazy stories. And since I was a young person in university, I will see a lot of things. Some of them I will create them in my mind. But there is this one instance where a friend of mine, alienda na madem, Golf Hotel. We would go there sometimes when our parents have sent more money to us. But since we could not afford more than 2 bottles of beer.
Yes.
That girl that we went with was very pretty. Alienda na mjamaa. Mimi na rafiki yangu tulibaki.
Mko hapo?
Sijawahi ona hivyo.
Lakini mambo, kwa hivyo hii mambo isi ya jana.
Si ya jana.
Mimi kwa dhani mambo inafanyika tu hapa Roysambu.
Ule jamaa bwana alikuja, alipatia ule dem 2,000. Sijawahi sahau.
Na hiyo ndio mko nayo nyinyi.
Sasa mzazi amengangana amekutumia ile 2,000 msichana amepatiwa. Na hiyo ni fair.
Yes.
Amebaiwa bottle of wine. Huyo mtu mwenye alifanya hivyo ni mbunge na sitamtaja, ni rafiki yangu namjua. Tulikuja kujuana. Tukacheka baadaye.
Mnasema mbunge
atubwaga. Alitubwaga.
Kalameni.
Ilikuwa swimming tumeenda pale.
Yes.
Sasa unajua msichana amevaa swimming costume. Sisi tuko na shorts, tuko. Sasa mwili umepinda kama chupa ya Coca-Cola.
Na wabunge wapendi hivyo.
Alianziwa na chips, bottle of wine. Sisi tukaongezewa chupa 2. By the time tunajua ameenda ameketi pale, sisi tunakunywa zile chupa zetu na akaenda. I wrote that story for the Crazy Monday. That story. So the long and short of it, by the time I was now fishing, umecheka ndugu yangu utaisha.
Lakini at least
tulikunywa chupa 2. Na sasa hiyo ni chupa 4, tumelewa.
Zenye munge afford.
Hatunge afford, hatuwezi rudi kwa maji. Msichana ameenda ni sawa.
So win-win situation.
When you look at it now that we have a bit of resources.
Yeah.
Wacha tuseme sasa hiyo ilikuwa win-win.
Yeah, okay.
Now comes fourth year. Fourth year, mimi hujisema, by the way, I am a child of God. That one every day I tell, na mimi hupiga magoti nasema asante. There was a program that Nation was running. Some of the best brains in journalism have gone through that system. It's called the Media Lab.
Media Lab, yeah. Which year is this now?
Now this is 2012.
Media Lab.
Media Lab was started earlier, so we were the 5th cohort. Now, what did they do? They had enlisted the services of one of the best journalism trainers in this country,
Yeah.
called Owino Opondo.
Yes.
We used to call him Prof. Prof, when Nation had money, would go across the country.
Now it doesn't.
When Nation had money,
Okay.
it would send Owino Opondo,
Yeah.
Nimrod Tabu, Agunda, Mwalimu Agunda. It will send Harith Salim. It will send some of its top honchos to go across the universities tapping talent. That year, they came to Masinde Muliro. I came to know about it because people also, unajua ile vita kidogo kidogo, nobody told me about it. But I met one good friend of mine who had already gone before me, and I had known him, called Paul Ogemba.
Now with the Standard.
Yes, now with the Standard. Paul Ogemba, I met him on the corridors. Yani kimchezo mchezo. Akaambia, by the way, unajua kesho kuna training ya Nation. He was then at the Nation. And kutakuwa na mtu mwenye atakuja. Nikamwambia, mimi sijajua. Apparently people knew, but they didn't want to tell me.
Why?
I don't know. Ukora tu, watu walikuwa washajua niko na uzoefu wa gazeti. So I go, an exam is given. The guy talks. So if you listen to him, you will understand. But those who didn't know, that he talked, people laughed, then he said, write a newspaper story for me. Owino Opondo. In a room with about 700 people. That is journalism students who had left the year before and had no job. Those who had left the other year, and us. So there were over 700. Others were in jobs but wanted an opportunity to work in the newspaper. We write. A week later, we are told, you've passed stage 1.
Now stage 2.
8 people. Stage 2. Some of them in my class, very bright A students. We come to Nairobi, do another one. And we were told those who made to the second stage, out of the 8,000 people that applied, 2,000 people have come to the next stage. Sasa tumeitwa Nairobi in batches. Unakuja Nairobi unafanya exam ingine. By the time we were done, Leila Mohammed and Kennedy Murithi were chosen. Masinde Muliro. Just the two of us. Uzoefu. So, looking back in retrospect, the amount of time that I invested in my holidays paid off. I was not the best, but it honed my skills. For me to have gotten to the fact that 8 Kenyans, were we 8? Yes, 8 Kenyans were picked to be in the Media Lab that year was quite something huge.
This is now 2013.
This is 2012.
12. Still.
Now this is 2012. 2 days to my last paper in May 2012. What's her name? The lady from HR. Angela called me and said, Murithi, report to work. No, we actually finished our exams in April. Report to work on 2nd May. I called my father, told him Nation has offered me a job. My father akaniambia congratulations. Nikiweka simu hivi, because nikimaliza hiyo mtihani na tunaenda student center kukunywa. My father sent me 5,000 shillings. Akaniambia, this is the last time I'm sending you money.
The last time I'm sending money. Did he keep his word?
Yes. He kept his word. Sasa ni mimi nijipange. Nation wamenianzisha na mshahara mzuri. Tuko hapo. I came to the Media Lab. I found Mercy Juma.
Now with BBC.
Now with BBC.
Yes.
Peter Mwangangi. Now with BBC.
Now with BBC.
Leila Mohammed.
Now with BBC.
There's a guy who was doing business, sports news called Warothe Kiru.
He left, eh?
Yes. There was Sharon Baranga.
Sharon Baranga, yes.
Now with CCTV.
CGTN.
CGTN.
Yes.
Then there was me, that is 6.
Now media consultant.
Now media consultant and political advisor.
Yes.
That's a big title, eh? Then there was a lady who was also on the sports desk called Wahida Sheikh. Then who was the other person? Then there was Beryl Wambani.
Beryl Wambani was quite a good writer. I don't know why she's lately.
Beryl Wambani is now one of the biggest people on the Kiswahili desk in BBC.
BBC.
Yes. Those are 8 people. Some of the best journalists that have ever straddled earth. And we were taught by one Ovino Pondo. Prof. Even now we talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes aniambia kuja nikununulie bia mbili kijana yangu. So he has trained parliaments, he has trained everything. And that is now my story of how I got into journalism. Started with QTV. I was a bougie boy. Kizungu ilikuwa mengi kwa mdomo.
Yes.
But I was thrown into the deep of reporting in Swahili.
QTV wakati huo the only
Swahili TV station that was there. When we were being given our letters, I really hoped that I would be taken to NTV.
Yes.
But they took me to QTV. Mimi na Leila.
Tena. Watu wa
Masinde Mulira.
Okay.
Mpaka nikauliza Leila ama tunaonema. Unfortunately in 2016 QTV closed. Because we had been bonded by nation to be there for a certain period. Fortunately, all the people that were reporting for QTV and were under the Media Lab brand were moved to NTV.
Absorbed now here as reporters.
Absorbed as reporters. At that time, we were with a young man called Enoch Sikolia, who was already established than me. We had Akina Peter Mwangangi. We had Akina big names in the political scene. But I decided that that's where we'll go. My breakthrough at NTV was the story of the fake cop, Waiganjo.
But that guy, yes, let's talk about that.
Waiganjo, apparently, according to my sources.
Yes. And you don't reveal sources.
According to my sources, he was very well connected. He used to go to the police station and he was sent with instructions. I got someone who was giving me details. I banged copy to story 1. Na juu ya kuhaha kwangu ni story 1 nimepatiwa nini, it didn't make it a story 1. It came in at story either 2 or story 3. But the details were so solid that other people relied on what we had put out.
For their own story.
For their own story. Kai believed in me and said, I want him to do that story. Linus Kai believed in me and said, I want him to do that story. I did that story. By morning, 2 days later, it had over 90,000 views online. And that's how I started my journey.
By breaking that particular story of...
When I wanted to voice, I remember Pamela Sigi seated on the chair. Nikamwambia Pam, I'm ready to voice. But this is before we went to QTV, because I had already been taken for internship at NTV. Some of people like Akina Mongangi had also been taken to internship at QTV. So they wanted all of us to do that. I remember Pamela Sigi seated on her chair. Akambia, okay, voice something for me here. Amekaa tu, amefunga macho, kumbe she is meditating. Akaniambia, yes, you can start voicing.
Go voice.
Ndugu yangu, that's where we are now.
That particular story.
Story and others. I did maandamano kidogo bado nikiwa intern. I did Matatu Mayhem, all that. But these are stories that have shaped me into the person that I am. And I also don't fear. Yes.
So when did you then decide to exclusively start focusing on political reporting?
I watched a lot of news when I was young. A lot of news. Because of my father, because of my own liking. In campus, I am one of those people who did not focus mainly on laptops, but bought a TV and an aerial just to watch news. And I would watch news religiously at 7 and 9 p.m. So I loved politics, and I love how people wanajibizana sana. Interestingly, I like kugonganisha, nikuweke bai tukisema hivi na huyu akisema hivi. That for me was an interesting bit of what to do with political reporting, and also getting in deeper into understanding what happens into the country, in the country though. However much the Waiganjo story was what was my breakthrough, it was not known to other people. It was only known to me. Because even if I signed off, nobody would put a face to who is this Murithi. It was not until 2014 that my breakthrough came. When I attended a press conference that was being done by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Ababu Namwamba was there. Former sports CS, the current Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula. And I asked a question about, you guys, wait a minute, it's now been a year since you were in the opposition. But instead of saying what is wrong with government, come with solutions and tell us that as opposition, we would have wanted it done this way. So the moment I asked that question, I remember Kalonzo is the one who was on the mic and being the senior most. He retorted and said, wait a minute, what's your name? I said, Kennedy Murithi. Oh, that name betrays you. That explains it all. That name betrays you.
All what you've been saying is what is wrong with the government. You're not providing alternative leadership as called. You're not saying this is wrong, this is how it should be done.
But we have said this.
Well, you know, young man, you're entitled. First of all, you didn't even get your name.
My name is Kennedy Murithi from Nation.
Thank you, Kennedy Murithi. That name betrays it all. Absolutely. Thank you. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How would you rate your performance?
But honestly, Bwana Murithi, I mean, if you were...
So, I remember I just said, wow. And took a back seat because now I was sweating. Somebody has already disarmed me. But within few minutes, because it was live, that matter was trending. It was trending in a manner that I did not expect. People were calling me. Some of their members who knew that he had blundered started talking to him, saying that you've blundered. By the time they're done with the press conference, it's already trending at number 2. Kalonzo calls me on the side, says, I'm sorry. I said, no, you know, my name is Murithi, but I'm Meru. He thought I was Kikuyu. But whichever way, I'm Kenyan at the end of the day. So I see a statement on his page that we've already had tea with the young man. I'm like, wait, when did we have tea? So I also had to come to my Twitter and say that we've not had tea. Because I needed to be very clear on the direction I went. So that day, I was...
Why was it important for you to say you had not had tea?
Because tea can be connoted into different ways.
Okay.
You know? But it is indeed true that we had not spoken.
You had not sat down with the man?
We did not sit down.
So you're saying on this show that Kalonzo lied?
Kalonzo lied. At that minute, he lied. But we met about a month later, when everything had cooled down. Kalonzo came to my church in Meru and participated in Harambe. The status of my friendship with His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to date is one of the best. However, he built my career. That's slander from a top politician. When others were looking at it from the point of slander, I looked at it as a point of catapult. There was a scandal near Sabuni, bus stops that were being bought at exorbitant prices because there was I think there was a drought or something like that. And the deputy president then, William Ruto, called a press conference at his office in Harambee. When people were asking questions and I raised my hand, he said, wacha tuchukue swali ya huyu to see trends. You know?
Yes.
So people now started associating me with asking hard questions. And I said, I will keep the momentum. That's it. 2 years later, Jubilee party has its primaries. It was the in thing then. Moses Kuria is participating in grassroots elections because he had come in as an MP after the death of the Gatondo South MP then. So when he came in, he had to face a nomination so that in 2027 he gets a seat. 2017.
2017, yeah.
So I go there and there is chaos that erupts. We speak to all the other people and they say, it is Moses Kuria who's causing this chaos. So I look for Moses Kuria, he says, come. I am here. I put the camera. Even my camera person had not stabilized. Nikaanza kuuliza swali. Mheshimiwa, everybody that we are interviewing says that you are the cause of this chaos. Is it true? I am tired of stupid media. Everything that happens in this country is put on Moses Kuria. Then he dropped the F word. I am here waiting. Wait a minute. Did he just say that on air? Then I just looked at the camera and said, well, that is very foul language from the member of parliament. And I continued. But even the person who was my producer
At the time, nani huyu?
tutamtaja, is here in my ear. I can hear them from gallery, and they're also saying, this producer is like, wait a minute. Did that person just say that? So even by the time I'm finishing, you know, there's the delay, but it was too quick for the delay to cut it.
Yeah.
So the F word from MK went on air.
He's already on air. We watched it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then akiikata, I had not even finished saying that was really foul language from the member of parliament.
Yeah.
And that was it. So it becomes big news. And you're being blamed for the start of that leadership.
Blamed by who? By some of the aspirants. Bring them here. Everything cannot be blamed on me, okay? I don't perpetuate that as media. I'm tired of stupid media, okay? No. If someone accuses me, bring them here. Everything wrong that happens in this country is blamed on Moses Kuria.
People now start associating the other one with Kalonzo Musyoka, then Moses Kuria. And that's how it was.
So it looked like you are under attack.
It looked like I was under attack.
Why you?
But also it looked like this is a very good journalist. Why me? I was a stubborn journalist. Yes.
By the way, I've always believed that political reporting is guesswork. Is it?
Somehow.
It has always appeared to me like guesswork.
Yeah, it's the same way with your investigative reporting. It's guesswork.
No, that can't be.
It can't be guesswork because
Yeah.
political reporting is interesting.
Yes.
You might come and tell me something. I go to someone, tell them so and so, we've heard this about you. We don't have to say who said it. They'll be like, no. Let them bring the evidence here.
Yes.
But you know, you already said it to me on camera.
Yes.
So nitawapiganisha. Niseme Jubilee has become a Tower of Babel.
Yes.
And it's like that. Then other people start changiering. What would have been a small problem solved, now blows out into a monster that you cannot solve. To date, I can tell you, if it is indeed true that President William Ruto and his deputy William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua are at loggerheads, I can confidently tell you it started with a matter that could have been solved. But there are people who saw opportunities for flaring up the fire, rushing away with it, and creating a rift. I can confidently tell you now, having been in politics for a while, politicians look for opportunities. And the more there is fights, the more money there is for some politicians. So they'd rather have an ongoing fight than have something yenye imetulia, because vitu mingi sana zinapotea. Yes.
Political journalists have time and again been linked to the allegations of bribery in parliament by politicians being paid to do some stories. And then ask two questions. One would be whether that is true, there is money streaming in from politicians to journalists. And then how widespread is that? How widespread is that?
Do you have evidence?
You see, I'm saying I've heard, I'm not
hearsay.
I'm not the one making the allegation.
That's hearsay.
And I'm trying to confirm,
No, it is not true. There is no money that flies. It's the same way that that media has always been saying that politicians are given money in toilets. Where is the truth? Who saw? Where is the picture?
The photo? Screenshot?
Yeah. Where is it? I know there are people who will be watching me and they will say that Murithi is now behaving like a politician.
Like a politician, yes.
But where is the evidence? You just get a good story. That story makes it to news. Your source, who gave you that story, will continue giving you stories as per how much you believe them. In the investigative world, people will be comfortable to give Obuya a story about investigation because Obuya will give that person 40 minutes of an investigative story they have done that has background information. So they will be comfortable. Your editor will believe you because the stories that you have done have not brought the company into disrepute. The politicians that you're saying give us money, as political journalists, have trusted us because they have given us stories that we've put on TV have become eventual truth. So they will believe you more, as opposed to these people who say money. Is money given? I cannot independently say that there is nobody who benefits from it. But those who have established a name get stories because how they put it out.
Their reputation.
Their reputation.
Believability.
Believability in this town is very important. And you must safeguard it with everything you have.
So, political reporters are not getting money from politicians as we hear.
You're framing the question the other way, but you're forgetting I'm also a journalist. No, they don't.
No, they don't. So, Murithi,
yes.
What's happening to the media right now? The media you joined back in 2009. Is it the same media we have today?
I cry for the media. I really cry for the media. What is happening is not fun. It's not good. And I can dare say, this started in 2013. As unfortunate as it is, when President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, William Ruto, took the reins of power, and they would go to podiums and say gazeti ni ya kufunga nyama. And they would tell their supporters, don't believe what the papers write. So there has been a systematic posturing of the negativities of media by the political class to the extent that we are here where we are. Media houses have said that the government owes them over 2 billion shillings. Money that has not been paid, and it has been dangled as a carrot and stick. The media watchdog role has deteriorated. Media houses also, unfortunately, some went the way of supporting some political class. And what befell them was out of spite, because those that are in power did not appreciate what they were doing at that time. Other media houses have gone as far as reinventing themselves. But the media space that is there right now, and the problems that we have, remember when Matiang'i was Minister for Communication, and there was a shutdown of media houses for more than a month.
3 months?
Yes, for 3 months then.
Was it 2018? Yes.
People found other avenues of news because people won't wait. If you had promised to marry a girl today, if tomorrow you don't keep your promise, you will be a dishwasher at the wedding. So unfortunately, there was a mushrooming of online sites that provided alternative news, and people went with them. I cry for my media people right now. If only a solution would be found. Citizen TV, for example, when Citizen TV started,
99.
and as it was building up, in my view, not what I know, in my view,
Yes.
is that they adopted an approach called Blue Bandia Kadogo. Blue Bandia Kadogo, for those who live in the slums, you will always buy it. Because you will buy one, you will use it once, itaisha. So that shopkeeper is assured of 2 shillings from you every day as profit. So that profit, if you plow it back into the business, grows into something else. When they were bringing Akina Papa Shirandula, they were bringing Akina Mother-in-law, they were bringing Akina Machachari, all those programs, they were resonating very well with the people who are left in the house. The media house that I worked for stuck to those people who go to uptown, while Citizen was focused on those people who go to downtown, who are many. Our focus was from where there is a Harambee House, Harambee Avenue, going that side. Actually, let's say Moi Avenue.
Moi Avenue.
Moi Avenue was the buffer. So those people who come to Moi Avenue going upwards are people of uptown. Those people on Moi Avenue and the other side are considered people of downtown. That's where the money is.
Downtown.
Downtown is where the money is. They will sell for you a 43-inch TV at 19,000 shillings now. Uptown, they will sell you the same TV at around 20 to 30,000 shillings. You know? So, if you come and ask for the money, how much is this? They will tell you that it is 19,000. If you go to Uptown, they will tell you it's 30,000. Utakuja umwambia wacha niende nikajazilie hii pesa. You know? So, with that in mind, Citizen grew an audience. It was also the first kuleta movies in Niger. And it grew and grew and grew. Right now, it keeps on reinventing itself.
I remember then in around 2016, 17, KTN News then comes and disrupts the market.
Yes, and they go on a full throttle, 24-hour news channel. Everybody wanted there.
Citizen kills the Niger movies.
Yes. No politician would want to start their press conference without saying KTN News, because it was the in thing, and they would say whatever they want to say live on KTN News. Citizen kills that, brings programs. The media house we worked for recently decided that it's going in a different direction, not remembering that the people who are watching Citizen TV are keeping tabs and watching it past 10:30. Nakani kama nawapigia debe, but you cannot lie to people that people are not watching news past 9:15. That's a joke of the century. You know, it's a joke. Why are people waiting until 10:30 and watching people on an interview? You live there, you go to YouTube, you find that same video has over 10,000 views in the morning. So sometimes it's some decisions that have been made that are not making sense. You know, let journalists be. Don't prioritize commercial interests. I know that is why people are paid, but people follow viewership. It's a collective effort. Nobody has ever, even this building that we are in right now, the floors that are here, there was coordination. It was not built by one person. It was built by a number of people who brought in the different skills that they have. There was a surveyor, there was a mason, there was a plumber, and they all came together and said, let us make this. In the same way in the newsroom, there is a political journalist, there is an investigative reporter. Let us come all together. Let us not have editors who are Mr. Know-it-all. Listen even to an intern. They have ideas. They are fresh. And the Gen Zs and the Generation Alpha are people who have ideas. Because as much as you will need to travel far and wide to learn, they have information in a gadget. These people know. Listen to them. Give them an opportunity. You know? Look at Rukia Bule. She's... Exactly. How long has she been in the newsroom? 3 years. It's not even... it's not beyond. It's not beyond. And it's the fresh ideas that she's bringing. If she's given...
on TikTok, by the way.
You see?
I don't think she reports more on TikTok.
So what we're basically saying is that give people an opportunity. Open up the space. Don't be rigid.
Are you looking at coming back to the newsroom at any point?
I think I was scouted for the newsroom, but I like where I am. I am learning something different. Sometimes you have to go to the other house to know that your mother is not the best cook.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Thank you for coming to the show, Kennedy Murithi. Asante sana.
Asante sana ndugu yangu. I like what you started, and may it blossom.
Yes.
And it will blossom.